You get to see the size of the setups here. So this is the 20 that we're going to talk about today. Hey guys, we're going to work on the 20-gallon today. I'm going to update you on what's going on. I tried something that I never do, so let's get into it. I finally did what I do not like to do, guys, and a lot of people feel the same way. I used an algicide on my 20-gallon to get rid of the hair algae. It was overwhelming. I haven't had time or money to put in tons of snails and hermits in this tank, and I used this right here, and it did work. I had to experiment with it. I used the recommended amount. It's pretty straightforward. You can see all the algae in there. And you take some of the tank water out. And then we're going to add the fluconazole into this. And there's a capsule. 1 capsule per 10 gallons. And it goes in here. I got to get that little green thing out of there. That's part of the capsule. They're a little bit of a pain to break open, but you can do it. You twist them. You stir it up into a high flow area. Wait and see. Say it takes about 14 days. I've done this once before, maybe 2 years ago in my 10-gallon. And it worked well. The only issue I had is I think it didn't do as well with bryopsis as that I thought it would, or Valonia, the bubble algae. I don't think it did so well on the bubble algae, but well, I don't have bubble algae in here, just this hair. As I said, I'm just tired of pulling it out, and I don't want to go and get more cleaners for this, so I figured I'd try this first, see what it does, just for experimentation's sake. It's actually antifungal medication. So it's made for fish, but if you use the same amount that it prescribes, you'll get rid of your hair algae. And some of the bubble algae got real clear. And I've seen tons of videos on this, and so have you guys. And my issue has always been, well, that means something's wrong with your tank, or you have too much nitrate or phosphate. Solve that problem first, and then you won't have hair algae. Well, you know, the tank was let go for a long time, months and months. I didn't do anything to it. So week 1 was not much difference, maybe a little bit. And then I went about 2 weeks and I started to see a little bit, but not much. So I doubled. I added more of the reflux. I added the same amount again. And this is about 3.5 weeks. And areas that were really filled with algae are gone. All right, so that was one thing I wanted to tell you about that I did with the 20-gallon. The issue with algicide, always for me, guys, is you're treating the problem, or you're treating it when it happens. You're not really determining why you have algae in the first place. So I could treat with this and it could go away, and in 3 weeks to 4 weeks, it'll start coming back. The other issue I'm trying to resolve, now maybe it was because the hair algae was all in between here in this Euphyllia, this hammer coral, and they just have not opened up since I've put them in here. And if you look in my 10-gallon, look at these. This is the same colony. I broke a piece off some time ago, maybe a year or more ago. So I've been experimenting with the light. I think I'm giving it too much light. However, everything else is growing well. This thing here, look at this. This was just a little spot on the top, and this is growing all over the live rock here. So that was really cool. That's been doing well. And some of my green Kenya tree have just fallen off and started to regrow in other places back here too. So I've pretty much left this tank alone for the last year. I haven't done anything to it. I had 2 fish in here and they passed. I had 2 fish in here. They died. I probably wasn't feeding enough. You know, some of you guys are going to leave bad comments. This is a little frag from the 75 gallon that I probably found on the ground. Where's the other one? I probably found it on the bottom. There's one back there. See it? They just drop and they float around and settle in different places. I may pull these out and attach it. So here, I just dropped it in, and I think it's here I just dropped it in, and I think it's attached under the rock there. So the zinnia's doing well. That's separated. That doesn't look right there. That's separated and fallen in different places. Looks great. So my recommendation, guys, is leave your tanks alone as much as you can. The more you do things in it, the slower things go. I had some nice zoanthids up here, and they've closed up. I don't know what's going on. So I'm experimenting with the light. I think I may have had too much light on this, and I'm going to start slowly, gradually setting it lower. I have an AI Prime 16 HD on this. I have this black tape here because when my wife's kids come, that little light keeps them awake at night. And I have that on all my other lights over here that are AI Prime. So I put that little tape on it. This is 16 HD. I have had varying settings, and I think I'm too high, and that's probably why the Euphilia is not opening up as much as it should. I believe I'm at about 60% cool white and the blues, but I've taken away no red, no green, and very low ultraviolet, maybe 20%, but I may experiment and drop my cool white down, maybe even the blues, because over here, the side that's not getting much light on my 10 gallon is doing really well. But the other issue could be that this has a little more nitrate in the water and phosphate. I'm not completely sure what it is, but I think I'm going to test this. I might be quite low in nitrate and phosphate on this because I haven't fed it in months because there's no fish in there. During the process of Reef Flux, I just put this filter sponge in here to collect the dead algae that floated over the overflow box. I used to have a refugium back in here, back in this compartment here. I took that off a year or 2 ago. I'm thinking maybe I could bring it back. It's very possible that the algae started to grow in the tank because I had no refugium. There's this idea of competition that I believe, that if you have a lot of algae growing in your refugium, you're not going to have as much in your main display. I have been adding kalkwasser from this container in my ATO in top-off water, so that's probably why things are growing. Anything that requires calcium, which is most of everything in the aquarium. I have a Sea Chase Synchro 1.5 in here, which takes care of the return. And this is a Digiton auto top-off float system. I'm not thrilled with it. I had an overflow in another tank, but I'm not ready to spend the big money on something. So anyway, there you go. 20-gallon cube.